Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your dog?
My dog went flying through the air over the tree. I don't know how it did it.
Okay.
A Bigfoot encounter story from 1811. This is a Squatch Mafia documentary. One of the earliest known reports of large unusual tracks in the remote wilderness of Canada comes from the year 1811, documented near Jasper, Alberta. David Thompson, a renowned surveyor and trader working for the Northwest Company, left a lasting legacy as one of the greatest explorers of the western United States and Canada. Considered one of North America's great pathfinders and surveyors, he is recorded to have traveled over 100,000 kilometers by canoe, horse, or foot in his travels through western North America between 1785 and 1812. In 1807, Thompson became the first to cross and establish permanent trading forts west of the Divide and would eventually explore British Columbia, Washington, Montana, and Idaho. On January 7, 1811, he embarked on a daring journey to cross the Rocky Mountains near what is now known as Jasper, Alberta. Armed with his curiosity and unwavering determination, Thompson kept a detailed daily journal of his expedition, documenting every encounter and discovery along the way. His journal entry for January 7, 1811 would go on to unveil an intriguing mystery that would captivate both his contemporaries and later generations. In his journal, Thompson recorded an enigmatic find. The journal reads, "I saw the track of a large animal, has 4 large toes about 3 or 4 inches long and a small nail at the end of each. The end of his foot sank about 3 inches deeper than his toes, the hinder part of his foot did not mark well. The hole is about 14 inches long by 8 inches wide and very much resembles somehow a very large bear's track. It was in the rivulet, in about 6 inches snow." This discovery left Thompson and his companions bewildered, and they attempted to make sense of the unusual track. Thompson later expanded on this experience in his work titled Narrative, which was based on his journals. In the narrative, written some 40 years after the event, he provided further insights into the strange encounter. He writes, "January 7, continuing our journey, in the afternoon we came on the track of a large animal, the snow about 6 inches deep on the ice. I measured it, 4 large toes each of 4 inches in length, to each a short claw, the ball of the foot sunk 3 inches lower than the toes. The hinder part of the foot did not mark well, the length 14 inches, by 8 inches in breadth, walking from north to south, and having passed about 6 hours. We were in no humor to follow him, the men and Indians would have it to be a young mammoth and I held it to be the track of a large old grizzled bear, yet the shortness of the nails, the ball of the foot, and its great size was not that of a bear, otherwise that of a very large old bear, his claws worn away, this the Indians would not allow." The explorer's account sparked debate among his team members. Some believed it to be the track of a young mammoth, while Thompson leaned towards the idea that it could be that of a large, old grizzly bear, albeit with some puzzling differences. He mentioned the shortness of the nails, the ball of the foot, and its great size, which deviated from a typical bear's track. Regardless of their speculations, they did not attempt to follow the mysterious creature, as time constraints and the formidable nature of the beast deterred them. In another part of his narrative, Thompson recalled the same experience and the impact it had on him. There he writes, "I now recur to what I have already noticed in the early part of last winter when proceeding up the Athabasca River to cross the mountains, in company with men and 4 hunters, on one of the channels of the river we came to the track of a large animal, which measured 14 inches in length by 8 inches in breadth. Despite the vividness of the track, Thompson and his party decided not to pursue the enigmatic creature, realizing the futility of their efforts against such an immense and elusive being. The sighting of this massive track added to the mystique surrounding the head branches of the river and the mountains in the region, which were rumored to be the home of one or more large creatures. While some dismissed these reports as mere folklore and exaggerations, Thompson's first-hand encounter with the track left a profound impression on him. He contemplated the possibility of the track belonging to a monstrous bear or even an unknown creature of significant proportions. Thompson himself was not satisfied that the prints he found were those of an old grizzled bear, and his curiosity of the track itself clearly intrigued him. Always the keen observer, he describes the track in detail, including the depth of the track from front to back, as if puzzling over the weight distribution as the animal walked. We should also consider that David Thompson only describes one kind of track, and if the tracks he found were those of a bear, both front and rear paw tracks would have been described. He clearly describes indigenous folklore, and what appears to be a healthy respect for the animal that made the track. It should also be of note that Thompson was not one to mention his men in his journals, but on rare occasions, when he felt it was necessary to highlight an event, he did so. The fact that his voyagers and both his métis and indigenous guides refused to follow the tracks further exemplifies the event. For something like this to stagger David Thompson, a man who had to this point had spent 26 years in the wilderness, it must have been quite the sight. In the years that followed, numerous theories and legends would arise, attempting to explain the identity of the elusive animal Thompson encountered that winter day in 1811. Some speculated that it might have been an early sighting of what later became known as Bigfoot, a creature steeped in mystery and the subject of countless folklore tales. Others suggested it could have been an unusually large bear or an undiscovered species. Whatever the truth may be, David Thompson's encounter with the puzzling tracks remains an enduring mystery. As his legacy continues to be celebrated by modern explorers and enthusiasts, the enigmatic track serves as a reminder that the unexplored wilderness still holds secrets waiting to be unraveled. Here is a short clip from Monster Quest that tells the account of David Thompson from 1811.